welcome to The Traveling Introvert. Today we are going to talk about updates with your boss. Normally there's some sort of check-in, whether you're a freelancer, you have your own business, or that you work for someone and you're an employee. But today I'm going to talk specifically about being an employee, though all of these things are relevant regardless. So someone was asking me that they said, I have these check-ins with my boss on a regular basis, and I just don't know how to deal with them. Because as an introvert, one of the things that we have a big problem with is sort of saying what we've done and being proud about it and standing in it and being okay with it. We almost expect people to know what we've done, and we expect our bosses to sort of keep track. And that's not necessarily the case. So one of the things that you really need to do is set aside a file, a folder, whatever it might be, virtual or real, that every time a client or a customer or someone else in your group sends you an email that says how wonderful you are, put it in that file, put it in that folder. And at the end of every day, just make a little note somewhere of what you did that day. And so then at the end of the week, you can sort of compile it and be like, oh, I did that this week. And then at the end of each month, you can go, oh, I did this. Because whatever happens, anytime you go to a performance review or any other type of review, it's very rare that you can remember every single thing that you've done. So step one, when you have a check-in meeting with your boss, is come in prepared. And perhaps the best way to take advantage of this is to have an agenda. You create the agenda. So before that meeting, jot down a list of the things you want to discuss and the questions that you need answers to. And this can be like for any situation. Granted, the other person might be the one who ultimately dictates what happens in the meeting, but at least you have an idea of what you need. And when you go in, you will then feel sort of more empowered and confident because you know what you want to talk about. It's great to do small talk, but let's be honest, it's just really good just to have like one question about how was your weekend and then just get right down to it. Chit chat isn't the best thing. This is about business. So go through the items that you've prepared on your agenda and talk about it because this is your time. So use it wisely. Present any updates that you have. And it's really important to update someone. Don't assume that they know the information, but also be precise and concise as possible when doing it. So be very snappy about it. For example, I did this page, I did that page, but we have X, Y, and Z to go and should be done by this date. Make sure you quantify and qualify everything. And one last thing, because this is a quick overview of what you should do while asking and having a meeting, is think about what feedback you want. Normally, when you have a check-in meeting, you're giving information, you're saying what you've done, you're saying what you're going to do, you're giving information. But for you to improve or to get things changed, you need to ask for feedback. And so you need to use this as a chance to solicit actual feedback about your performance. And this will get the other person thinking about what you can do to improve and give you criticism. Hopefully it will be constructive criticism. And if it isn't, and they give you like some sort of feedback and you're not sure exactly what it means, ask for specific information. So a lot of the time people say, oh, you don't network enough. So, well, what do you mean? Do you mean that you don't see me networking enough? What does networking mean to you? Is it part of my job metrics? Why is this important? You see, all of these follow-up questions will get you the information that you need and will help you figure out exactly what it is that they want or think they want from you. Because a lot of the time when someone gives feedback, very vague feedback like that, for example, you need to network more. It's just because in their perceived mind, they think you are not networking or that you are not doing X, Y, and Z. And so when you ask the follow-up questions, it makes them think harder. It makes them become a better manager or a better client or whatever it might be. And then they will give you very, very concrete feedback. And so if the feedback is you don't network enough and you ask drill down questions, and what it comes down to is they don't see you networking enough, then you know that you need to be visibly seen to be networking enough. Or when you give your feedback, or next time you have a meeting, you can be said, oh, I went to this event, or I networked, or I talked to X, Y, and Z person. And so then that will click with them that, oh yeah, that person is networking. And so that's a really quick way of figuring out what that other person's expectations are and how you can fill them. So that was just talking about how to very, very quickly deal with regular checkups with your manager or your boss or what have you. So thank you very much for listening. This is the Traveling Introvert. Should you have any questions for me, please email me at janice@thecareerintrovert.com. Please join our Facebook group at The Traveling Introvert or anywhere else that you will find us. So thank you very much and see you next time.